Hi, it's Kat, and here we are gathering for a mythopoetic life. And today I want to talk about time. And I'm really intrigued by this time that we're experiencing right now between the eclipse and the equinox, and how we could explore time in relationship to rebalance and resetting our edges and determining new direction. So here's the quote that inspired this conversation today, and I'm going to be intrigued to see what comes for you. The hour is striking so close above me, so clear and sharp, that my senses ring with it. I feel it now. There is power in me to grasp and give shape to my world. I know that nothing has ever been real without my beholding it. All becoming has needed me. My looking ripens things, and they come towards me to meet and be met. Rainier Maria Rilke. To meet and be met. How is it that you feel your looking, your attention or attunement to the time is now? Something is ripening under my gaze. How do you feel that you participate in attuning and activating your journey through time? What do you think about the potential of ripening time, or the time is right, or the time is right? And, I'm curious. Here we are in harvest, just before, just after the harvest moon last night and the eclipse, where things are hidden and revealed. So there's this activating energy, this energy of things being peeled back to see. And what do you see in your own life or seek in your own life that is ready to be revealed and activated and energized with your gaze, with your attunement? And the other thing about time and this stretch of time right this moment is that it's equinox coming soon. And what happens at the equinox, whether you're in the northern hemisphere and it's the autumnal or the fall equinox, or the southern hemisphere and it's the spring equinox, the equinox allows us to rebalance. It is the exact space between the solstice and the solstice. So the equinox brings in this balancing energy between the night and the light. So depending on where you are in your year, you're turning towards the dark half of the year and really starting to lean into the darkening days, and fall into winter will come soon, or you're leaning into the spring and light is rising. And I wonder, when you notice at a particular time where you can turn your attention is actually turned in a new direction. And that's what always happens for me at the equinox. It always happens this time of year where I really start to feel the dark rising and this turning energy towards new direction. And often it comes with, certain kinds of energy activated, like I need to clean and clear, or I need to sweep and sift, and I need to reset my energy somewhere in the house or in my life, or recognize that, oh, I'm being called. I'm being called in a new direction. And I want to kind of get ready and seek. And I love in the Rilke quote, the hour is striking so close above me, so clear and sharp, that all my senses ring with it, and I feel it now. There is power in me to grasp and give shape to my world. What are you giving shape to? What is your world offering. What is coming close between the eclipse and the equinox that feels ripe or ready or right? For me, this season brings a turning back on the path. It brings me to turn towards rekindling a journey. It's like an ending and a beginning. And I really do honor and work around the Celtic wheel. So the equinox brings me close to the Celtic New Year, which is Samhain, which is next on the Celtic wheel in 6 weeks. So this week, this harvest, this turning of the journey, it brings me back to myself in a sense where I'm turning over all of that earth and I'm starting to feel the falling to the ground and that disseminating energy of returning to source. And I do feel on the other side of that a kind of a quickening and a getting ready for the next. And for me, that's the journey beginning. That's what I do at Samhain is I begin to honor the energy of embarking on a journey. And I call that quest, and I call that quest path. And it's a body of work that I've created over many, many, many years, and many women have gathered with me on the quest to do that work. But I'm wondering what it is for you. And maybe you feel called. Maybe you're being called to a quest, called to a journey, called in a new direction. And maybe there's a sense of balance, something coming back into balance, or some kind of restorative healing that you can find at the equinox to honor the dark and the light, the past and the future. And we often do that through the window of now. So, what can you do this week for yourself in this time, outside of time and space, in this moment of seeking and finding balance? What will that balance bring? How will that balance sing? I often laugh at myself because a lot of times the way I seek and need balance is finding pockets of peace in a kind of chaotic world, or where a lot is being expected of me, or maybe I'm being pulled in many directions. And I don't know if that resonates with you. Maybe you're looking for pockets of peace, but maybe there's another kind of balance or restorative healing that you're really seeking right now. I know that in years where I've experienced a lot of grief, what does my restorative healing look like when I've experienced loss, grief, when I'm feeling a lot of um, chaos or confusion? I seek completely different things in that balance point where dark meets light, where chaos meets calm. Think about the different extended energies that are existing in your world, and where can you bring those into balance? Joy meets play. Maybe your balance is pivoting between two different things that are not opposites. They're companions. And maybe there's a balance point between these companioning energies that you're really recognizing or honoring. Like, what if you're newly in love and you're feeling all of that good, joyful, exuberant energy? And it's not going to be opposites that you're seeking, that you're seeking. It's balance between moments, perhaps. And so I want you to play with this and really consider how you can meet this moment, what has been revealed through the eclipse, and how the eclipse meets the equinox. And this full moon bright light exposure is going to give you more to see right now, more to experience, more to amplify and energize. So where it is that you're seeking and finding, I think that's so wonderful and exciting, exhilarating. As modern mystics, we're tracking time in a different way. As artists of life, or those who feel the mythopoetic energy of how you design and experience the journey. As modern mystics or artists of life, you know, often we're seeking through symbols, we're seeking through creative process, or we're seeking through words, poetry, evocative ideas expressed in symbols or images, color, shape, movement. In fact, the mythopoetic life is about practicing a metaphoric approach to experience so that we can really take all of the sweetness out of each experience and expand on it. And those are even the experiences of sorrow or sadness. I think as someone who is dedicated to depth, I'm always looking for how I can know more of what it is that I'm feeling, what it is that I'm seeing, what it is that I'm experiencing. And sometimes, even in the last, I don't know, couple of months, I've had peak experiences that were beautiful and peak experiences, which is hard to call them that were really, really hard. It's like, oh God, when I'm falling apart and, sobbing and feeling so marginalized and misunderstood in a moment, how do I make sense of this? How did I get here? I remember saying that to myself in the last 2 months. How did I get here? I'm really, really just feeling bereft and sad and undone. I take that opportunity to feel it big and to see it through and to not run away, even if I want to in the moment. I really did want to, but to not run away and to play with the potential of being present to whatever's happening. And, sometimes I feel like a little kid when I'm in those moments and tears running down my face, but if I can feel it fully and experience it, I know that I'm maturing. I'm allowing depth work to guide my life. And that actually is very important to me. It's a big value. So if I'm, met by a moment that I would rather not be having, I can admit that to myself, but I'm going to feel it as big as it is and actually learn from it. And that's kind of the way that I've started to move through things that I used to avoid. Um, but in this time, I'm bringing that to the conversation because in this time frame between the equinox, when things are revealed and things are peeled back, um, and we are given this opportunity to discover and discern balance, what balance means to us, or what it is, or what we're seeking, or what we're needing. Uh, this potential of restorative healing can happen when you tell the truth about what is on what is being experienced, what has been experienced, what is needed, what is desired, what you yearn for, what you're seeking, what you're feeling. That level of truth telling is revealing. And that's where we can really use the equinox to restore balance and to move through. So, below, I have some goodies for you. I have some information about the upcoming quest that just opened. Registration just opened. We don't start until the end of October, but there's an Equinox special, so it'd be great to gather that. I also have a guided meditation for the equinox this week, so you can listen to that. And I have some other goodies below, including the poems, so that you can see that and read that and take that in. So I hope that this is a fruitful week with full moon energy eclipse will be peeling back and exposing something likely that needs to be seen. And then the restorative healing and the balancing of the equinox that is coming in a few days. So enjoy and play with these wonderful words and your mythopoetic life.